Today I'm going to take you on a tour of my entire doll collection. So that encompasses all of my dolls on display and all of my dolls and stuff for my dolls that's in storage. So this is a combination of two videos that I filmed in the past. I last updated my Dolly displays video in 2021, and I did a storage tour, my first one, much more recently in the fall of 2023. But we have done some pretty substantial rearranging downstairs in our basement, and my doll displays did get a slight update, so I thought I would just combine the two because this was requested. It is going to be long, and before we get right into it, I do want to make a few disclaimers because anytime I make this kind of video there's always questions and certain kinds of comments I get. So yes, I have a very expansive collection, but I have been collecting dolls for over 25 years with my sister, and when I say collecting, it's like a lifestyle. It's hardcore. So this is years of collecting, years of building the displays to what they look like now, and getting the storage to what it looks like now, and just all of the stuff took years and years and lots of time and blood and sweat and tears and money spread out to make happen. It's not like this all happened right away. We made this happen for ourselves. We don't have tons of money and all of that, so we had to get a lot of the dolls themselves are thrifted. I'm sure if you watch my videos and you know that, or I wait to get things on sale. I try to be very thrifty in general and life even outside of dolls, so the storage, the displays, a lot of it is just repurposed or things I waited to get on sale and I might have made over myself. My house and what you're going to see of it, because this is pretty much like a house tour only just of the areas that have dolls, it's not perfect. This is real life. This isn't an aesthetic Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. I feel like people sometimes forget what it's like being a normal human being. I just make videos and content for fun. I don't make a dime off of anything I post here online. I'm a regular person with a regular job and a regular income, so we work with what we have, and we are very lucky to have the house we grew up in that we got after our parents died. But that being said, it was not in good condition. After my dad passed away, he was very depressed and let things go to hell, and our basement and house looked like an episode of Hoarders. I am not exaggerating. It's not perfect. You're gonna see that it's lived in, that things are old, that there's old furniture, that maybe the carpets have some stains on them, but we work with what we have, and I'm not just gonna replace everything because it doesn't look perfect. That's not my motto in life. This is real life, and I hope that maybe if you're a regular person like me, that this just inspires you to work with what you have and appreciate what you have, because not everything needs to be perfect. And I just feel so much of social media makes you feel even your refrigerator needs to be aesthetic, and that's just not real life. I want to use what I have and work with what I have, and then spend the money that I save by doing that on buying things that I really need and will really improve the way I store, display my collection. So I hope that makes sense. I'm showing you my stuff as it is. And I'm proud of what work we've put into it and how it looks now, and we're always trying to make it better, but we're balling on a budget over here. Ones in storage do get taken out all the time for photos and for videos, and we just appreciate them. So just because stuff is put away, that doesn't mean we don't use it, and it's all organized in a way that we can use it. And I do have detailed videos of how I organize everything in my tips and tutorials playlist. Some of it's a little out of date, but it's still pretty much the same method. I also have collection videos. Some of them are quite out of date, but there's a playlist for that on my channel. And if you want to see my up-to-date collection, to the newest doll that I have today, check out my Flickr. It's linked below. You don't need a Flickr to view it. All my dolls, all of their playsets, their fashions, anything and everything, the stuff that I've identified, it's all on there. You can literally see all of it. All my duplicated dolls, yeah. So without further ado, let's get to the tour. Colleen doesn't have a lot of dolls in her room, but I'll show you the ones that are here. So this is just an overview of her room. On her tall bureau here, which this was my grandmother's these pieces were hers. We have her Encanto dolls. So I found one set of these really cheap at Walmart on clearance, and I knew how much she liked the movie. I haven't seen it yet, but she always says, Louisa reminds her of me. So I bought her the set, and then we found another lot with Bruno and another pack for really cheap on eBay. And I didn't have room for these dolls on my Disney display. I would have needed like a whole shelf for them, which I did not have available. So I cleared us off space here, and they do have all handmade stands. So yeah, they're in her room, and they look really cute near her Harry Potter lamps. And then a lot of her like stuff on display is Harry Potter. But we have her two Twist and Style Tiffany's. She had the blonde one growing up, not this doll, but one like her. And in 2021, she found this one used on eBay and this one boxed on eBay. Oscar, who is our soft sculptured cabbie, one of them, lives on her bed. He was actually my Easter present to myself in 2022, but when he came in the mail, Colleen fell in love with him at first sight and absconded with him, so he lives in here. And on this bureau, which is part of my Mame set, there are a few more dolls. We have Baldwin, who is Colleen's Easter gift to herself in 2022. I haven't changed my Cabbage Patch dolls, all of them, since we filmed our collection video, because we've just been so busy, but that is a priority. They will be changing at some point. He lives in here on this chair that my grandmother gave Colleen when we were kids. And then her Magic Attic dolls. There's those. Then Mallory is the talking Cabbage Patch doll that lives in the American Girl wheelchair, which we got for $1 at the flea market. She doesn't sit well, so she needs something really structured because she has the talking mechanism inside. And then over at the back of Colleen's bed, we have all of her American Girls. We have her first Molly. This is Molly's actual beach chair she's had since we were kids. Rebecca is sitting in a My Life As chair that someone gave us. And then Emily and Be Forever Molly are sitting in Molly's theater seats, which we got for $10 at the flea market in 2022. And then this canopy bed, my dad made her for Colleen's birthday in 1997, so he handmade all of this stuff. And then it is broken, and it's been broken since we were kids. But my grandmother made all of the bedding, and then I fixed this up as a surprise for her a few years ago. And this piece on top is particle board. That is the backing of this, because in 2017 I redid her whole room for her. She picked the colors, and then I painted everything. And this shelf used to be black, and the whole window is blocked out. Those are ceramic, so it's fine that there's sunlight. But just to let more light in this room, and wire attach the backing, I saved it, and then I ended up using it as toppers for all the beds, which you'll see the others in my room. So it kind of becomes like a shelf. And Molly's actual catalog bed, which she got for Christmas one year, is up here. And you can see there's like Courtney and Isabel and Gwen. And then these are some of the wellies that just don't fit in my room. We share the welly wishers. I mean, we play with each other's dolls all the time, but like the wellies aren't technically any of ours specifically, but they were given, these ones were all given to us. So that was really cool. Gwen is hers. And then on the bottom here we can see more Molly's. So those are her American Girls. And sometimes she uses like some of Molly's other furniture in here, like her chrome table and chairs and all that. She has a lot of Molly's stuff that she had since she was a kid. And then these shelves, which I painted in cream to match everything. I like even painted all of her picture frames and stuff to match. These are adjustable. My dad put them up a long time ago, and they didn't have dolls on them originally, but the top shelf there is all of her little people. So this is all of her like Stacy sized dolls, the original Harry Potter dolls, and then the newer Dobby, and the newer Harry that came with the platform 9 3/4. Some of their accessories. She does have duplicates of a few of these. And then these are all of like the newer generation of Mattel dolls that she collected over time. A lot of them were on sales, and then there are like, these are the tall ones Mattel made back in 04 or 03. And these guys are here because the mirror of Irised is too tall to fit up there. And there's just some like different things hanging from here, like an ornament a student made for her, and a Harry Potter ornament someone gave her, and then more of the dollies, and this picture frame that we got at the flea market when we were kids of Molly. So it kind of like blends them in with some decorations and whatnot. And I did make them all stands. They're all pictured on my Flickr, and I have a video in my Dolly Designs playlist, I think, of me making some of these stands. And then there's her cool little car here that she got at the flea market when we were kids. This is the Harry Potter car, the Ford Anglia. And she has her duplicated Magical Powers Harry and Wizard Sweets Hermione in there. And in her closet, which this is like a library, she's got all of these books in here, and on the top shelf, and a Harry Potter poster. On this bookshelf here, and there's also the fan that stays in here. These are all of our porcelain dolls. So my grandmother was a doll collector, my meme, when she was alive, and she had tons of porcelain dolls. We had to move all of her stuff from her apartment when she was really sick to our house, so some of the dolls got broken, and then they were just neglected for a while because there was a lot going on. So we ended up selling a bunch of them for super cheap to this old lady at a yard sale in 2011, and she was like so in love with them, which was nice. But we kept our favorites that meant something to us. And I do have a video on these guys, and they're all pictured on my Flickr now. I even like undressed them, so all their clothes are separate, and I've washed them all and redone all their hair and all that. And then two of them are from my Uncle Ray that he rescued from the trash for us some years ago when he used to work at the town dump. She was still in her box and someone threw her out, and then this baby was just loose and thrown out, and I do know who they all are if you're interested. But they live in here, and it's nice because you can see them and they make the closet look happy, but they don't really get dusty or anything in here. So now we're in my room where there's an obscene number of dolls. Yes, an obscene number of dolls. On this little shelf here, I'm sorry not all of them look 100% perfect. I've dusted my Bratz dolls really recently and rearranged them, but the rest of them, it's like they're in need of being dusted, but I wanted to film this video, so if they don't look perfect, I apologize. We have underneath this little cute curio that was my mom's. I have my little angels, some of them, and then babies, little brats, kids, and then in this bottom tiny shelf, more little angels. So my dad built me this as a Christmas gift in 2011, which was my last Christmas with him. And originally this was for my Disney dolls, but you can see how like small and narrow the shelves are. It just really wasn't very practical. I did used to have some of my 1960s Barbies in here on display. Then after he passed away, I had all these babies and stuff, and I thought, you know, this would be really great for my little Bratz people. I took some of the shelves that were duds that he didn't think were perfect, and I drilled more holes in here and added these. And one of the leftover pieces of wood, or two of the leftover pieces of wood from making this I used. Originally they were all plexiglass shelves, so I could maximize my space. The ones down here might look a little bit disheveled. I tried to neaten them up a bit before the video, but Quasimodo and Oliver really like these Bratz kids. And Quasimodo, I think, can smell Oliver on them because Oliver rubs up against them in the morning when he's hungry, and Quasi will pull them out with his teeth, which I do not like, but so cute. And I do have like all of them out right now. I didn't have to put any away. My duplicates are just wearing fashion packs. And then next to that are these two very similar shelves. These were my grandmother's. My Pepe built them for her porcelain dolls, so back when she had her own house and we would sleep over, I remember we would sleep in the spare room, which was also the doll room, and like all of them would be in the room with us, and I just thought it was so magical. So it's really special to have this, and you can see like she put lace on the shelves. And I do have some knickknacks in here too that you'll see, like my mom's cookie jar, and then behind a lot of my dolls there are these like homemade cards Colleen makes me every year. There's a bunch of them. They're like hiding all behind here. On the top shelf we have my Snow White dolls, not all of them. I did have to put a bunch of my Disney dolls away some years ago, so they rotate. And I did do some paintings myself for some of my Disney dolls back in like 2011 and 2012. Snow White shelf is especially fun because there's the dwarves and there's some like random Disney figurines like Colleen's Bambi and Flower that we put out. And they look really cute up against the little wall border here. They've pretty much lived on this top area for a long time. In these cabinets here, you can stand 4 American Girls comfortably. So I mostly chose the ones that were in here based on who had hair that was kind of complicated that I didn't want to get dusty, who had a lot of accessories. So Cecile has hair that is really high maintenance, so that's why her and Marie live in the cabinet. Marie used to live outside the cabinet by herself. They match right now, so cute. And I will say my American Girls are wearing a weird eclectic mix of outfits right now because we took pictures of all of them for Flickr when we were redoing our albums, and then some have been used for other photos, so they're wearing a strange mix of very seasonally inappropriate clothes and seasonally appropriate clothes. And then we have Addie and a Duke. I have like some little accessories for her that I put out from time to time, so that's why they live in here. And then we have my shelf with Kaya and 3 of my Josephinas. I could kick Kaya out and put Francesca in here, but I like to have Sparks Flying on display. I got her at the flea market. And my Josephina dolls have like a mini doll, a Nina, and these Hallmark ornaments, and this picture frame in the mini doll book. So that's why they live in here. And then this tiny shelf used to have knickknacks, but I ended up moving some of my bitty babies in here. And they have a lot of stuff. They have like bears and accessories that come out. These aren't all of them. And then down here we have Isabel and Marisol, and they're not high maintenance, but you can see like Isabel has her dance case and a mini doll and McDonald's figurines, and oh, Rascal fell over. And Marisol has Rascal and some other accessories. And then up here we have my Samantha dolls and Nellie. They have a bunch of stuff. They have like mini dolls and Jip and these Christmas dolls and Lydia. And then Bethan lives down here because she can't fit up there with them. And this bear was a gift that my Auntie Kim gave me a long time ago, and I thought it kind of reminded me of Samantha's bear. And then we have Kit, Bethan, and Kit has so much stuff. Kit has 3 mini dolls, her chicken, Grace, and like all of the mini dolls and Grace were like thrifted. Someone gave me this kit, but she was used. The people who gave me Lainey gave me this kit. And that's my favorite of mini dolls because I think she's cute. And then these are some of the wellies that can fit in here. They can stand on this shelf, but sadly not on that one. So we have some of the nicer ones here. And then the lovely Emerson, who's my favorite, who was a gift. And then we have Kirsten, and she has quite a few accessories. She has 2 sets of kittens. One set I got at the flea market. One set someone gave us, Colleen's work friend, who also gave us Sari and a meat outfit for her. And then they live in here with my hopscotch chill doll Gwen, who usually wears welly clothes, but I recently restrung her and took her pictures over for Flickr, so she's in there. And then Caroline has her cat Inkpot. And then Gabriella lives in here because she has high maintenance hair. And I gave her and Nenea the mini Mary Ellen, who was a gift. And then we have Nenea, my mom's cookie jar. And then it's going to be hard to see, but down here I have my Biddy twins. This used to be where I kept knickknacks. The shelf is a little taller than that one, which is why they're not over here. But we have Gemma and Sunny, and then Eddie, and then Billie Jean is all the way down there. And they each have like little stuffed animals and stuff. And then this cute little table setup. So the table and these 2 chairs, they're from the store called the Mill Stores, where they used to sell handmade furniture. I'm not sure if it's open or not. You'll see some other things in this tour from that place, but my parents surprised me with this for my 10th birthday, and then my dad made me a high chair for Bitty Baby, which you'll see downstairs. So this is where my Girl of Today dolls live, some of them. I paired the ones the classic original style. Valerie, Angela, Ramona, who's a gift from Uncle Ray, and Amber. They all kind of live over here because I think they look alike, so they look cute together. And Maya, that's Maya's chair. So this chair was from the Salvation Army, and this chair and this wicker one were from my friend Lisa's Grammy. After she passed away, Lisa and her mom brought over some of Grammy's stuff for us, and which was really nice because Grammy used to say that she adopted us as granddaughters. And then Covey and Kanani have wicker chairs that I bought at the flea market on different occasions. Originally Baldwin sat in this, but then I gave it to Kanani. She sits over here because her hair is really long, and then I felt really bad for Covey, so I bought her a special chair because I am Covey's third owner, and I got her in August of 2023. That's shameful. So that's why Covey has her own chair. And then we have some of my Cabbage Patch dolls on my mom's hope chest. This was a wedding gift, I think my dad said he got for my mom. I've had it in my room since I was like 12. And it just has blankets and extra stuffed animals in it. And these are some of my favorite Cabbage Patch dolls, or like my oldest ones, like the ones I've had the longest. That's why they're up here. And like my baby Otis and baby Martin and Ralphie, these are my favorites. But then Daniel Joseph is everything a Cabbage Patch doll aspires to be and more. And these two, Dennis, Paul, and Joy Irene, I named after my parents. And of course my twins, my OGs, I love them. And they need to change, like I said. And in this little nook here, we have two shelves. So this one is kind of pushed over into this like void of the corner, which when you look at it head on, it looks a little strange. But because you can stand here and see all the dolls, it's fine. I needed to just make a little more room over for this stuff. So on this bookshelf, my Pepe built this for Colleen when we were little girls. It used to have sliding doors, but then she got a desk from my dad's old office, so they gave me this bookshelf. And I used to display my American Girls on this actually when I was a teenager. They would sit on here, which my meme really loved. Whenever she came in my room, she thought they looked nice because she loved the American Girls because they're similar to the porcelain ones she had. So on the top shelf here we have Mulan. Most of my Mulan dolls are out. And then I use the bases of old stands to put the hoofs in to add some stability to these horses that have like the bent legs. And they have handmade stands too. And then on this shelf, these are my Pocahontas dolls. Not nearly all of them. I have a ton of them. And I painted that. It's not really that great, but I love the Colors of the Wind song in the movie. And I do rotate like where some people stand and who's out on display. And then I have two Little Mermaid shelves. This one here, which is by the painting I did, and I thought it was cute to have my Lagoon gift set in front of it. But it's kind of crowded with all my little Tycho people because I just love them so much. I don't even have all of my Tycho dolls out, but I have like the Mer Babysitter. I have some cute figurines. This was like a bath toy we had as kids. Yeah, and then some of these figurines I just got in random lots at the flea market, and I just saved them because they make cute display pieces. And then this lower shelf here is more Little Mermaid dolls. This is where my like fancy Sea Witch Ursula is. More figurines. And then the bottom shelf is where my Beauty and the Beast dolls live. And you'll notice that there's little books like this on several of the shelves. My dad got these for me at a yard sale when I first began collecting. He thought they'd be cute for display, so they're really sentimental. Actually, a little girl was looking at them, and when she went to go ask her mom if she could get them, my dad bought them. I wasn't there, I don't condone that, but I'm really glad to have them. They're cute. This shelf has a twin in my studio. I bought them at different times, but they're both from Walmart, and they both were $30, and they both were black, painted black when I got them, which I tried out, and I did not like it. They just seemed really obtuse. They were dark. They attracted dust more. So I used contact paper on the sides and also on the top there, and on these removable shelves to decorate it. And then on the inside of a lot of my shelves I have box art and posters, and like, yeah, you can see even like the ceiling. I wanted it to look cozy, so I spent a lot of time decorating these, and I did change out this contact paper in 2021. I had different stuff before, but it got kind of old, and I just wanted to like update it. So that's kind of the fun part about using like contact paper and box art and stuff is it's not a permanent change. On this top shelf we have my Sleeping Beauty dolls. I need to make that Maleficent a stand, so excuse her. And you can see I have some like little figurines. They're super cute. This is like kind of a bit of an eclectic shelf. We have like my Hercules dolls, Milo, Prince of Egypt, my King and I dolls, my Swan Princess dolls. That's my custom Odette over there, my only custom doll. My dad loved her so much I didn't get rid of her. And then we have my Moxie Girls. Now my Moxie Girls unfortunately are split up in several different locations because the way this shelf is, one of these shelves was a little bit too short for like these dolls to stand in, so that's why the Moxie Girls live like in clusters. So these are some of like my first editions and like best friend type dolls and signature dolls and trope. And then we have some really colorful like Artitude and hair themed dolls. I love how happy Moxie Girls look. They're so cute. And then my tall brats, it was kind of a similar problem. The shelves my dad built over here are sized for brats, and especially with the stands that I made for these guys, which are plain white. I painted them to match this because they change out who stands. They won't fit with my other brats really, so I gave them this space. It's kind of dark down there, but those are my tall brats, which I got most of them on sale. And then underneath this window here we have a large amount of dolls. So I have 3 beds. They all have that particle board backing that I used to make like basically a bunk bed, so I could fit 4 dolls on top of all of these. So I have 12 and 12. 24 dolls on these beds. Pretty clever. So I reorganized this pretty recently when I got Julie's bed. Felicity's bed I got at the flea market in 2019 for $25. I got Julie's bed and that's complete. Julie's bed I got, was missing the pillows, but I got it for $10 in 2018 at the flea market. And this guy was in a recent collective haul. I got it on sale and with rewards points. I saved $45 on it, and if I hadn't had to pay the shipping, it would have been $55, but this was the only thing I ordered. And I love it. I actually think it's my favorite Julie bed they made. It's so adorable. So, on the top here, I have most of my Girl of the Years in chronological order, because why not? And I do have 2 Jess dolls, because Namari was a gift, and Krista was also a gift, and so was Lainey. A lot of them were, like, thrifted, or I got them in lots on eBay. Summer's new, so I have to pierce her ears still and stuff. I got her on a flash sale. Shh, we'll just pretend that didn't happen. Felicity's bed obviously has my Felicity dolls and Elizabeth dolls, which, yes, I have multiples. And then I do have 4 standing in the front here. Yvette has to stand because her hair gets really frizzy. It's beautiful and I love it. She's one of my favorite wigs. But I just like to keep her as unmussed up as possible. And then Emma and Tenny also have kind of cantankerous wigs. And Nikki was up there until I got Summer, but I thought it would fit with the Girl of the Year theme to have Summer up there instead. And then in Julie's old bed, I gave this to some of my random Truly Me dolls and Francesca, who is my newest Josephina, who I got for $5 at the flea market, and she's absolutely fantastic and the best thing ever in the whole world. Well, besides maybe Emma. Tenny looks drunk because this Queen's Treasures outfit has heels on the boots and she needs to be tightened. And then in Julie's new bed, this is where Julie, Jolene, Ivy, and Melody live with all their mini dolls. And then over here, this is the loft bed. It's actually pretty new for what I consider. I think it came out in 2017. I bought this on eBay originally to put over here instead of this bed, because I thought I'd be able to sit the 18-inch dolls like on top the same way as this and fit 4 across. But I was wrong, and I should have known this because you can see how they sit on the bottom. So I got it in a lot with a little hotel bed. Then I realized that even though it wasn't what I thought it would originally work for, it's perfect in this little space next to my bed. It doesn't get in the way. I never really walk over here anyways, unless like I don't want to bother the cats when they're sleeping with me at night. It's a little bit rickety, so the bitty baby dolls sit perfectly on the top. So we have like Jelly, Ming, and Kiki. And then over here we have Tiana, Joy Nomi, and McKenna with an A. And speaking of Kiki on the bed. And then we have this shelf, which is secondhand. My grandparents, I think, gave it to my dad. They worked at the Salvation Army. It used to be in the studio. It was like a room, like an office where we did our homework. And then when I first got into collecting dolls, again in 2011, I was like, hey, we have that shelf. That would be great for them. And this is like really high quality. It's like basically an old version of one of those, but you can see how much thicker the shelves are. They're really heavy duty. So on the top we have some Aladdin dolls. This is my favorite Disney movie to collect dolls from. I am kind of particular about them compared to others. Like, nothing quite compares to an old school Mattel, like 2001 era Jasmine, but I love them all. And I have a Jafar and Genie of the Lamp. I'm so glad that there's some like more diversity here and like these cool little Hasbro dolls that were gifts. And then on this shelf here, this has like looked very much the same for years. I've added in some things, but this was like one of my first shelves that I set up that I was really happy with. I have this picture, the first one I painted from my Disney dolls. It's done on the back of a soda box. My Magic Carpet, Raja, Genie. I love the genies. And then this is my third Aladdin shelf, because who doesn't need 3 shelves of Aladdin dolls? And these aren't all my Aladdin dolls. I have a lot of them in storage. But I just love them. This movie was my favorite growing up. I was like a huge Disney kid growing up. And then we have my Cinderellas. It's a little bit darker down here, but they're super cute. You can see more of those little books. And then on the bottom shelf, this is like one of my miscellaneous shelves. It's kind of hard to see, but that's Cruella in the corner. I need to make this Cruella a stand. But there's kind of a hodgepodge of dolls from different movies. And last but not least, we have my Bratz shelf above my bed. My dad made me this in 2011. He used to love helping me scheme for how I could fit more dolls in my room. He spent a lot of time on this. He painted the wall brackets to match the wall, and he curved the edges of these so I wouldn't bump my head on them, and they're stained. So that was really nice of him, and I'm glad to have like something he built here. So I had a lot more Bratz dolls on display. I put 100 away about, I counted, because MGA has been putting out new Bratz dolls the past few years. Prior to that, there was kind of a lull in my collection because I really don't see them secondhand that often. They're way too expensive to buy on eBay and stuff. Like, side note, I think it's disgusting how much dolls can cost online, and I refuse to partake in that level of consumerism. If that means no Bratz dolls, then I'll be just as happy spending less money on something else. I really wasn't finding many dolls until they came back out with them, and now I wait for them to go on sale, and you can see like I have some new ones up there, and I was conflicted. I didn't want to put any away because I've had all my Bratz dolls out for so many years and they mean so much to me, but I just couldn't enjoy them anymore when they were all crowded, and I really care about how they look. So you'll see there's like some gaps and stuff. That's on purpose, so I have room for more dolls. And I'm not getting like tons of them at a time, but here and there I'll get like 1 or 2 or like a little set of them online on sale. So I wanted to have the space for them, and I'm really glad I did. And my old dolls that are put away will come out and rotate like my Disney dolls do. So on the top here we have like my family themed dolls, like sisters and stuff, and some Black Friday ladies. And then this was like a new section that I made of like my collector Bratz. I got like all of these on sale, I think, except that 2018 Sasha. Everybody else I got on some kind of sale, or like I got this Jade with a gift card. They're fabulous. I love these dolls. The Hayden Williams ones are awesome. I don't know why people complained about them. And the Moa Lola and the Jimmy Paul are some of my favorite Bratz ever. And then I just have some of like the classic old school lines here. Ones that like I grew up seeing in stores, like Funk and Glow and all that. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can see here. They were very recently like dusted and rearranged, so they look nice. And then we have my Express It dolls, my first Bratz doll ever. Where is she? Was this Express It Yasmin, and then I got the other Express It ladies besides Chloe for Christmas in 2002. And then my 2010 dolls, this was my first Bratz doll I got in the store as an adult collector, and then Cameron was my second. So there's some really special ones. Same with the True Hope, they're very special to me. We have my boys, and then of course my first editions. I had more first editions out, but I had to put them away. It was out of control. And I have the Czar and Anastasia over here on my nightstand, where they've always been. So in my little doll studio, I call it a studio because it's multi-purpose. I edit in here. I have an art table, which there's just some stuff for like a video, and then some dolls that need things done over on my desk. But yeah, so it's a multi-purpose room. Crafting, office, doll display. There's this really huge shelving unit that my dad and I planned to build, but then he passed away. My uncle ended up making this for me a few months after my dad died, asked him if he would, which was really nice. It isn't as secure as my other one. I guess my uncle didn't realize that the walls were crooked, so you can see there's a little tape right here, and it's a little wiggly, but luckily they don't weigh much. And I did leave a big gap for more dolls, so it looks a little bit weird, but I did that on purpose. Just because while I was putting dolls away, I wanted to make sure I had plenty of space. So I'll give you a quick pan of them, like my Punks dolls, which is not all of them, I put a bunch of them away, but then some punky themed dolls, and then that leads into costume dolls, and like fairies and stuff, and then we've got like our traveling, time travel, and then world travel. And I am particular about who I sit. These 2015 dolls have knee joints and they tend to flop over. I used to stand these guys, and then study abroad. Jade fell down one day and took out Party Sasha, who was sitting on the car, so they're not allowed to stand anymore. And the 2010 era dolls also have really tiny feet and don't stand well, but their legs bend super nicely. So yeah, and then I have my like genie dolls, and Western themed ones like these special ladies. And then next to the empty spot, this is my very condensed beach section. My beach section used to be like all the way over here, but I had a bunch of just like random dolls dressed in beach clothes. And then that goes into my sports themed ones. And then we have my holiday section, like Lovin' Holiday Felicia. This is what I mean about wanting space for my newbies, and like my lovely sweetheart Megan, who I always wanted. And then they kind of blend into my winter section, which is quite expansive. These are more like random people, but I tried to put dolls that looked good together. So we have like hair themed dolls in my boutique, and then my Always Brats. I got them all on sale. A fashion stylist, more hair themed dolls, my Kylie Jenner dolls, my Girls Night Out section, which some of these are originals, and then I bought some of duplicates of the repros on sale. Like, so I bought a repro Dana and a repro Yasmin to dress my secondhand ones. Yeah, so they're all out. Some head games people. I put a lot of dolls who used to be on the shelf away because they were just like random dolls wearing random outfits. So I wanted to kind of make it a little more cohesive, but there are still some random people. Neon Runway, a few randoms who are really sentimental. My Forever Diamonds, Sorrel and Keelan are wearing fashion packs. I dissolved most of my fashion pack section, but I just decided to keep them out because they're really special. And then these are some more like random people. And then we have some of my 2015 dolls. These were in my room, but I wanted to make space for some of the newbies. And then on top of my little cube organizer, I have my little angels, Castle in the Clouds. I got this at the flea market with most of my little angels. And it's a really great place to display them, and it doesn't get in the way of like the light switch over here. Then this little guy, I think I got it on Target's website. It took me a long time to research this because I wanted it to have the right dimensions to fit in this little gap here. I got this in 2021 when I went on a Moxie Girls bender on eBay because I just never find them in the wild. So I just have a couple of like large scale LOL dolls up there. And then we have like all of my story time ladies. And I do have like 2 sets of them because one set came with Pocahontas and one set came with Cinderella. And then I have like some mermaid and bubble bath surprise dolls, and that Avery my Uncle Ray got out of the trash. Some fantasy looking ones, and then more like costume and pajama themed ones. They're super cute. I love Moxie girls. And then we have my dollhouse that my dad got me for my 20th birthday at the flea market. We made a special trip to the flea market just to get it, and I think my dad got it for $15 or maybe $20. I do have the topper for it that says Barbie and like the side rails, but obviously I want to use this whole thing for display. So those are downstairs. You'll see them when we go down there. So on the top I have like party themed dolls, like birthday dolls, and my very special 2010 party ladies. The infamous party Chloe that me and my dad spent forever looking for but couldn't find. And then this dollhouse is way less crowded than it used to be. This is like my music rock themed shelf. And can we appreciate that I got Repro, Rock Angels, Roxy, and then not long after I found her at the flea market in a bin. And this car here, my dad bought for me at the flea market for $2. He actually wanted it for himself, but then he saw the Bratz logo and he's like, crap, I have to give it to Shelly. So this was a running joke with us. He would take this out of my display and put it with his toy trucks and then like find me around the house and be like, did you look at your doll shelf? Hee hee. And then I'd come in and find all my dolls ransacked and the car missing. It was like a running joke we had. This is my slumber party themed shelf. So this was one of my first things I ever had for Bratz dolls. This was my childhood beauty bed that I played with all the time. And my very special slumber party Sasha, one of the last dolls my dad got me, is on here. And her repro, who's fantastic, because I didn't have this outfit before. This I got at the Salvation Army for like $1 or $2. It's in one of my old hauls. This like here is a piece of dowel that I painted silver to make a leg for this, and it's a great display piece. And then down here, this is my like prom shelf, you could say. So a lot of formal funk dolls. I put up many of my imposters away, which is sad. But we have Pina Dana on the car. And this car I got for, oh man, like $4 at the flea market a long time ago. And the guy said it was his sister's growing up, and she took immaculate care of her stuff. This one has like all of the fuzzy interior. I do have another one of these that was gutted that I paid more for at the flea market some years before. But I put the nicer one out on display, of course. And these drawers don't have anything in them anymore because they're kind of hard to open. This house is not the most stable. My dad had to use cut pieces of pencil as like support pegs in here because the original ones were missing. And then under the window we have my 2 LOL and OMG houses. So that was my first one. I got this on sale from Target's website, like within the first couple months I was collecting LOL dolls in 2020. And then that fall, I got this one through the Amazon warehouse for $50 off because it had like these little scuff marks on the top. They are right under the window, which isn't ideal. I try to remember to keep the shades closed. I'm not perfect about it, but the tops of these are a little bit faded, but I don't care. It's not really the end of the world. But the dolls seem okay, but I do keep my eye on that because you do need to be really careful when you keep things under the window. And I just have like a crap ton of tots everywhere. And my OMGs. These houses aren't sized for the OMGs to stand in all of the rooms. They only can stand down there and on the patio. But you can see I found ways to work them in. Is it a little overcrowded? Do the dolls fall over sometimes? Yes, they do. But I love them. And also I have like a bunch of stickers that came with my dolls all over the place. So it's really cute. It feels nice and cozy. More dolls. And they're turning up more at the flea market, so it's been fun. And I can get them on sale a lot, so. And I also have someone in the elevator there. And then we have someone on the elevator over here. And I do have this pulls out, right? And it's the pool. I do have that piece for this house, but there's a heating vent under there, and I just don't want to like stop the heat from coming up, so it's right there on my shelf. So then we have this floor. I recently rearranged these because I had to dust and take pictures of these houses without the dolls in them for my Flickr guide update. Yeah, it's a little overcrowded, but I mean, they're so adorable. My first OMG dolls. And of course I have a bunch of like the food themed ones, like the mini sweets and the mini bites in the kitchen. Blue Raspberry Boy over there. Those are some of my favorites. And then on top of my little computer desk, we have my 2 Snow White dolls that my sister bought me at the Salvation Army. She was boxed and she was loose and one of her fingers is broken. But I love Snow White. And then we have Cara, Ballerina Cara. She is just like really fragile. Her arms have fallen off before. They got fixed by a friend of mine and then they fell off again. So I had to fix them myself. And she's just really delicate, so that's why she's up here. And then last but not least, we have this shelf. This is a twin to the one in my room. Again, it was black when I got it. I painted it white, and then I originally had Hello Kitty contact paper on here for the first like 7 years, but I changed it out to this Pioneer Woman themed stuff, and I couldn't find enough of the same pattern, so the flowers on the side are different than the others, but I still think it's cute. And you can see it's on the top as well. It makes it easier to dust because the top of this is kind of rough. So this is my Frozen and Hunchback of Notre Dame shelf. I did have to put a bunch of them away, and this is again how I keep the horses stable. And then we have my Tangled and Princess and the Frog shelf. More Moxie Girls. They used to be like really crowded shelves. That's why I got that. So it's nice having some growing room, even though I haven't gotten a Moxie Girl in years because they just don't turn up all that often. Some more Moxie Girls, and then my Bratzillas. I'm debating about putting them away to make room for more Disney dolls because these are kind of cheap quality. I love them, don't get me wrong, but they have not fared very well being on display. Even like with the shades closed and stuff, they have discolored somewhat, some of them, but I don't know, I really love them, so I'd be sad putting them away, even for more Disney room. So when you come down the stairs, this is what you see. This basement is not finished. It's partially finished, so you can see there's areas where there's open ceiling, and then areas where there's paneling, and then areas where there's carpeting, areas where there's not. And I do have some gates up just to keep the cats out of those rooms. I mean, they could get in there if they really wanted to, but it's not been an issue for a while. But after we got Quasimodo, Oliver was stressed out. Quasi was having an issue with the litter box, so just an extra precaution, that's why there's some gates up. But this is what it looks like over here. So this is the first room in the basement. It's right under the stairs. This is the pink room, aka Colleen's old bedroom, ergo why the carpet is pink. And Quasimodo's going to help with this tour. This room is kind of difficult to store stuff in because it's right by the back door, and we stack wood outside this window, and it has these built-in shelves, so you can't really go up too high. And half of this is the same as it was before and has been for years because it's hard to find things that fit under the stairs. But I did do some rearranging, as you can see here. So let's start under the stairs. Oh, and now Oliver's down here. We have, in this really weird nook, we have a bunch of our American Girl trunks. This I call Kirsten's. It's actually a handmade trunk my dad pulled out of the trash at the town dump when I was a kid. We have Colleen's Our Generation trunk, which I got her for Christmas in like 2002. I've shown it before on my channel, but we've reorganized it since. And this has like American Girl like branded accessories and Our Generation accessories that we use for photos. This is a little carry case that Colleen's friend gave her. It was her daughter's, and we keep some of the pets in there. Molly's trunk Colleen got brand new for Christmas, and Samantha's trunk that I was given, it's missing a bunch of the drawers. Someone gave it to my dad's best friend for a yard sale he was hosting, and when they saw the American Girl branding, they gave it to me. And because Molly and Samantha's trunks are kind of like weirdly shaped, we don't keep a lot of accessories we regularly use in them anymore. It's more like mini doll boxes, Colleen's Bennett dog from childhood that's like missing his ears and tail and doesn't even look like a dog anymore, but he's sentimental, stuff like that. This little guy, my parents bought when they redid the kitchen, 2000-ish, but it didn't fit where they wanted to put it, so it was given to me. I used to keep Bitty Baby stuff in it as a kid, but instead it holds all of our like ceramics. So this is like me and Colleen's childhood tea sets that are non-American Girl brand, and then this one is all like Molly's tea sets, plural, yes. She has 2. Dad bought her one for Christmas one year. It came broken. The company sent a new one free of charge as long as he returned the other one. He never got around to returning it, so she has a set that has a couple broken pieces and a perfect set. Yeah, and then just more like ceramics down here, like Samantha's holiday set. I actually keep it in its box because it has the styrofoam trays for it. And then this is a bureau that was part of my childhood bedroom set. It was used when I was a kid. And on top here, we have some different jewelry boxes and stuff. So this was my grandmother's. It doesn't have anything in it. Neither does Isabel's jewelry box, which I got on sale from American Girl many years ago. I used to keep handmade jewelry and American Girl branded jewelry in there. We ended up bagging most of that with the outfits that they were made for or came with because we just had too many, so eventually stuff will go in there. This guy we got at the Salvation Army, I think in 2016. I think it's in one of my very old holiday editions from 2016 of Dolly Diaries. This is where we keep some like homemade type things that we don't use for specific outfits, like this one I made for Tiana. And then this is the American Girl earring tree. We got this for free in a lot of doll stuff that we were given at the flea market in 2023. And then the rest of my earring studs are in here. I have a bunch of them, and all my dolls who have pierced ears are wearing them. I hoarded those. We have the charms for the American Girl branded ones, a couple studs that don't have pairs, and then a few handmade pairs of earrings for outfits that are not bagged. And then it does have drawers, and in here it's just things like hospital bracelets and stuff. And this guy Colleen's had since we were kids. She bought it for Molly. And then in this top tray here, I keep like some American Girl brand hair ties, bobby pins, clips, things that you can use for a bunch of different outfits. And then in there I have our curler kit that we had since we were kids, and like the barrette card that goes with Kit's clips. And in this guy we keep just some like random headbands and like Isabel's bun kit, and then all of their glasses and stuff. And in these drawers, these are all American Girl accessories, or like 18-inch doll accessories, and these 3 relatively new. Colleen's really gotten into like photographing them, and so she's gotten many different like off-brand American Girl things, like Our Generation in My Life ads. They have some really nice accessories. And again, these are all just like random recycled sorters, food tins, an American Girl box. This tray was something like an office tray that someone gave us that was used. And they're organized kind of in the same vein. This is all like food stuff. Here holds like their specific tackle boxes. These are all like, I got this one at the dollar store. This was one of my dad's for fishing he gave me. I'm not sure where that one came from. This big drawer here, it looks like 2, but this section is one big drawer. That holds Addie's bed that my dad made for me. Josephina's sleigh bed, things that I'm not currently using for Babyland, and then like our Generation washing machine and Molly and Addie's handmade sleds, because this bureau doesn't warp or anything, so I wanted to keep like our handmade stuff in here. That was really special. And this bottom drawer is larger accessories and Dolliver's Spot. So you can see like it's not as organized because these are random things. A lot of these are historical. Our Welly Wisher's gingerbread house. And then this bureau here, it matches the ones in my sister's room. It was my grandmother's. Colleen always loved this set since we were kids, and so this piece didn't really fit in her room and she didn't need it, and I'm pretty sure it's for jewelry because it has locks on all of these drawers. My grandmother kept jewelry in it, but we keep doll clothes in here. So on top we have my styling head. You might recognize it from my How I Clean and Detangle Doll Hair video. I got this Yasmin for a few dollars at a thrift store, and she holds many different doll bows. We have some Our Generation hair extensions someone gave us, and just different clips that I find sometimes in bins of dolls at the flea market. I clean them, of course. These are like kid and baby hair clips, things like that. And then this guy is a jewelry box that my mom gave me as a kid. I think it was secondhand. She loved mice. And in this just has like napkins and tablecloths, kind of like accessory items that are cloth that Colleen uses frequently. And these are all doll clothes. They're Cabbage Patch clothes, but they're not Cabbage Patch branded. So they're like real baby clothes, most of them. So these are like preemie sized girl clothes, preemie sized boy clothes, a drawer for the big baby clothes that Oscar and Baldwin wear. They're the like huge softies we have. Then because they're so much bigger than the other dolls, they have like their own drawer for their own like authentic Cabbage Patch branded items. Yeah, and that's what all of these drawers are. These are like reborn outfits that fit them. And then in this drawer, this is Overflow American Girl accessories. So it's like mostly animal and gardening stuff, like Courtney's guinea pig cage, our chicken coop, the garden set, our Welly Wishers bunny hutch, Kia's saddle. And then there's, like I said, these built-in shelves all around the room. So these are our childhood wardrobes. We used to keep some American Girl outfits in here, like dresses that might have just had a hair ribbon or dresses that didn't have anything at all, but I decided it just made sense to keep like all of the characters' clothes together. So like any dresses of Addie's that were hanging are just now in Addie's drawer. So these are all just like homemade things that can hang that are special, or some like Cabbage Patch things that can hang. And in the drawers here, these are all hangers that we use for hanging things in the wardrobes or when drying clothes. These were Christmas gifts from my Auntie Kim. She got them at this store called the Mill Stores, where they sold homemade stuff, like handmade wood stuff. Actually came like in the spring because they were back ordered, I remember that. And they were in our bedrooms, and they used to hold like Molly's clothes and Addie's clothes and stuff. Mine's missing the handles for some reason. And that is a lantern that was from my cousin Danny's wedding, which we use as a little gazebo in doll photos. This is a My Life As wardrobe that holds a few smaller handmade type items, and we got it for free. One of Colleen's friends gave it to her, and it makes a really great photo prop. This is one of my 3 full-sized American Girl branded horses. This is my Palomino. He won't fit in the Our Generation stable for storage. Only 2 can fit in there. So I've just bagged him so he won't get dusty. My Our Generation horses are not bagged at this time, but I'm considering it because they do get a little dusty down here, but I'm probably going to give them baths again before I do that. I did recently like wipe them down, but I feel like they could use another bath. This guy and that guy were rescued from the trash by my dad's best friend Jimmy when we were kids. And then Colleen got this one for Christmas one year, and she gave him to me. And then this is Rosie. She was my first Our Generation horse. This was like not long after they came out with these horses, and they opened a Target in our area. And my parents surprised me with Rosie for my 11th birthday, which was my last birthday with my mom, so she's super special. That's why I really love these horses. And then I have 2 doll cases here. These are like sleep and keep type cases where there's like little bedrooms that fold out of them. I don't really collect the cases other than that because I don't like storing things in them because they're literally just cardboard with like a plastic covering and they make things smell. So these are useful because we can actually use them for photos and stuff, but the other cases I'll either donate, or if they're in bad shape, I'll just take the artwork off of them and use it for backdrops, which we'll get to these in a minute. So this is where I've kind of done some reorganizing. This was a little Barbie organizer we got for free on the side of the road. It holds all of the hangers. You can see the label there. So there's like clothespins, the hangers that don't hang directly off of the drying rack, wire hangers I modified to hold like little pants clips, and then All of the hangers that hang, like right off the drying rack we have, are free float around the bottom. This is my grandmother's sewing table. It used to be upstairs in my studio, but I actually never liked sewing on it. I just don't feel like it's enough space, so I always just set up my sewing machine on the dining room table. So it's moved around downstairs a lot, and I found it's really handy for all of the flooring I've made for doll photography. So these are all poster boards, and they're double-sided, and yes, I used paint pens to make all of those. I have some that have leftover contact paper from projects around the house, other types of paper, ones I decorated with stickers, stuff like that. Like this is a thick stack. And I have this one at the bottom that is a piece of poster board, and I had sand left over from a project from many years ago, and I used it to make panels of sand with a lot of Mod Podge. And I have 2 of each design, so we can set up a really wide photo or video. And underneath is a great place to store our wooden doll houses. This is my childhood one that my dad made. I have a video on how I made it over. And this is Colleen's that she inherited after a family friend died many, many years ago. It was actually taken apart when we moved down here and when my grandmother came to live with us. And I put it back together like circa 2017. And it was missing a floor panel. But we found it in the recesses of this basement. And then over here, this looks weird. If you don't know what these are all backdrops that I made. I made every single one of these. They are cardboard boxes. Most of them, I bought the boxes just for this purpose, but there were a few that are recycled that I made backdrops off of. So they're double-sided. They fold for storage. They're all covered in contact paper and then packing tape around the edges. So they're like laminated, basically. Some of them are made from scrapbook paper, and then I have a bunch that are made from like old posters, box art from dolls, wrapping paper scraps. I had like leftover wallpaper I found in the kitchen. Some are all wrapping paper. Yeah, these are all like, some are made with recycled supplies. Last I counted, I had about 50 of these boxes, and they're double-sided. So that makes about 100 backdrops. I don't make them too often anymore, but I was really into doing it for a while, and we film so many different kinds of like doll skits, and we take a lot of different photos for dolls, so it's just fun. It's fun to have like a special backdrop for whatever mood we're in. And the only ones that are not down here are like my main ones I use for my Flickr guide. So my butterfly backdrop that the dolls are photographed against, and then the heart backdrops. I have 2 of them that are identical because some play sets are really tall and need them stacked on top of each other. Those are upstairs because they're easy to access. And underneath these, I don't know if you're going to be able to see, there's a little white back there. I have some leftover tile from the kitchen, and I just put them up against the wall here just to keep them slightly elevated, just so they don't get musty. But they are all laminated, and the reason why these are over here, so they were in the closet in the basement a long time ago. Then they were in the blue room, which you'll see in a couple minutes. The problem is they're really heavy, and you have to be careful where you put them. So this is like cement right here. This is the foundation, and it's not puckering the paneling. And this room has these shelves, so before I had like some storage containers over here, but the problem is like it wasn't using the space very well, and these were in the blue room where you can use the wall from floor to ceiling. So I just put these in here because I don't need all of, like, I can't use this for tall items anyways, and I can still reach over here and like clean. And then you can still, they're stacked up this way so that you can flip through them to get the one you need. And this is also the furthest point from the washing machine and from the hot water heater and well tank, which all have had floods at some point in the basement. And this is just the furthest point. The only water source that's close to them is the kitchen sink. It's like right here, but it would drip over here. And that only happened one time in like all 30-something years that I've been alive, and it wasn't a big deal. It just like dripped down a little bit, so this is like the safest spot for them. And it's nice because it's still right by the flooring and all of that. And this room is kind of weird, like I said, to fit things in. And this is just my grandmother's old recliner that's down here if you want to sit, with these hamsters that my friend Lisa got from her job years ago for us. And they're really cute, but they're huge and I don't know what to do with them, and they were in the way in the living room. So I put them down here, and they actually come in handy because when we are in Babyland working on projects, they're nice like pillows. You can lean up against them because they're so big. And we've got the Quasimodo. So this area and the laundry room are the only places that aren't like finished with carpeting. This was supposed to be a bathroom, but my dad never got around to finishing it. Next to it, we have my old desk that my dad got me for free on the side of the road when we were kids, and some paint cans. And this is kind of doll related because these are all of our like extra containers. I know it's a lot. We use them for washing things, sorting things when we get them, transporting things up and down the stairs when we film videos or do photo shoots. When I'm taking dolls off display to like deep clean, they can go in there. Some of these are just extras that we bought new at some point that like we switched how things were organized, but most of them came from like the flea market or were already in the house. There's different like bins, like that was from a bin of LOL, the Tub of Tots lot. So yeah, a lot of times the sellers want to hold on to their plastic containers. And underneath I just have a milk crate that has some of the smaller lids in there. And yeah, my cat's litter boxes are over here, and yes, I know that they have 4 of them and they're all near each other. They're weird. This is the way they like it. Oliver's come to join us now. They like to like pee in one and go to the other and poop in it, and yeah. So this is all like their litter and stuff. I'm currently switching them over from that to this. Well, Quasimodo, Oliver is already using that, but it's a little annoying having their litter boxes right here near the doll stuff when you need to pull it out, but I try to keep it really clean. So these 3 plastic racks were some of the first things I bought that were like big for the basement for doll storage. I got 2 of them together, and then the third one I bought later on. I think they were $45 each. I got them at Home Depot. I actually picked them up in person, and I couldn't fit 3 of them in my Jeep even if I tried. I could barely get 2 of them in there. I don't think that they're that magnificent in terms of the weight they hold. These are all really lightweight like things, and you can see the shelves aren't like bowed or anything, but the problem is like the shelves can kind of sink down the plastic tubes if you put anything too heavy there. So they work for what I bought them for, and they're nice and deep. They're like 2 feet deep, which it's hard to find shelves that are that deep. And obviously I have some really long vehicles. I'm not going to go through like every vehicle here, but this is primarily like all of our Barbie cars. You can see some of them are stored in their original boxes. And then there's other things like Barbie planes, and I do have them organized. Like these are planes and my cruise ship, some smaller cars, different like things like that. That's my Malibu beach bus, which has its box. We have some like Francie's house, my Moxie Girl snow cabins. There's actually 2 stored in there. Some like different smaller Barbie houses. This is our Girl of Today grill I got Colleen for Christmas. It has its original box, but I also bagged it. Some stables. Our Queen's Treasure stove that we got for free from Amazon Vine, Colleen's retro hot dog cart. And you can see I also have some containers that were clearly used for other things around the basement. These are all really old, like none of these were bought special. They were all just really old things. So I'm not going to pull them out, but you can kind of see in this clear one, I have the smaller vehicles bagged and labeled, and then they're kind of in these containers so I can slide them out so they're not like rolling off the shelves. These big ones don't roll like that, but the little ones do. So you can see like I have them labeled. This is where I have a couple carriages, that's why that one's label's different. I have a little container of small horses. That's my Star Traveler, the label's under it. I have the container lids for the really big containers that are over there. And then those are my childhood bat caves. These are, it's like a diorama that they were going to throw out at the high school Colleen used to work at. It had army men on it and stuff, but we use it for doll photography. And then a couple of the overflow containers of Barbie furniture that are smaller, and that's like a little tiny house that my uncle rescued from the trash for us, which is great for like small photography.
Please don't use that right now, or that's not polite.
So next to the laundry room, which is very ugly and unfinished, it's where the wood stove is. I'm drying some things over there. But you will find dolls in here from time to time when it's winter, and I've washed things. They come in here to dry. So we have this huge shelving unit, which has been here since we were kids. My parents must have gotten it when they built the house. It's one of those really heavy-duty ones. You can see some of the shelves are a little bit like warped with age. It used to have like Christmas decorations and tools and all kinds of stuff, but obviously Colleen and I are doll collectors. All of our Christmas decorations can fit in the hutch upstairs. This is all just doll stuff. Now, if you watched my last tour, you might notice that there's some empty gaps. That's because we bought something very expensive for down here to house more of these containers. So I just spread things out because why keep everything crammed when I don't have to? I'm not going to go through like every container, but you'll see a trend here. I use black cardstock and white paint marker. It isn't the best lighting in some of these rooms, and especially not in this area, because I usually don't turn on all the lights like I am right now for this tour, but you can really see it in bad lighting, and this paint marker, it won't fade like Sharpies will or regular markers, so it works out really well. It just all matches, I guess. We have little containers that are lightweight and lightweight furniture bins at the top because you don't want to pull anything too heavy down. We have my Monster High containers. We have some smaller collections. My extra like Disney boys that aren't on display. The bedroom, grocery stores, you get the idea. So my dolls are organized by doll type, and then they'll be subdivided by like character, or in the case of Barbie herself, by years. But for furniture, that's not how we use like furniture and accessories. We use them by like room of the house, so it makes sense to have like a bedroom container, grocery stores, restaurants, you get the idea. But I do have like Kelly and baby sets. And then those really big guys down here that kind of stick out the bottom are like the kitchens and dining rooms and general household. And then there are some smaller play sets, like houses and things, that I keep bagged that kind of slide in these random gaps that would otherwise be useless. So we have 2 Fold and Fun houses. Colleen's 2 Glitter Girls play sets. Then I have a couple of my sets that have their boxes still just because they're weirdly shaped or they're just better off in there. I don't usually keep boxes, but if they can serve a purpose, like this dream pool, the box is horrible, but it's such a weird shape, it's like perfect to keep it in its box. This soda shop is the only one that doesn't have its playset in it because I have 2 of them, so they don't fit in here. And once they're assembled, they don't fit back in here anyways. Those are just a few sentimental doll boxes we've kept. Like my Superstar Barbie box, Colleen's Pet Pals Skipper, aka Robin's box, stuff like that. And they'll fit in the slots here. And then these are pieces to my dollhouse that's upstairs on display. These are like the Barbie frame and stuff that I don't have out, so I can use the top shelf. More like play set that are stored, like my rocker stage and these Arco ones. And so doll containers, so you can see I favor the like 66 quart containers for most dolls because you can hold a little over 100 dolls in a container when it's full if they're Barbie sized, but it's not too heavy to carry and the dolls aren't too smushed. So you can see like there's growing room though. That's the key here. I reorganized these a couple years ago and there's still plenty of growing room. And then I have some of her like friends that we have more of. Like Teresa has her whole own big container. And then I have my Bratz dolls that no longer live up here. Now these are pretty full, but that's because I made so much space on display that I'm not going to be putting anyone away for a long time. So they're over there. That's fuller than they usually would be, but you can see like we did some reorganizing. Same with, like, these aren't all my Disney girls. There's another container in the other room. Yeah. So as far as the containers go, sorry, Halsey's using his litter box. Some of these were bought brand new, like those Monster High ones, but I would buy them in increments. These came in 4-packs, and like I got them several years apart. Some of them were like my grandmother's containers. Some of them we've had since we were kids. Some of them I don't know where they came from. That's why they don't all match. And I don't think it really matters. Like, they're here to serve a purpose and protect my doll stuff, and that's what they do. Who cares if they all look and match perfectly, as long as I can find what I need. And then this dresser here, this is a secondhand dresser that my grandparents gave my parents when we were kids. It's been here since the basement was finished. It used to be like over there when we were kids, and it held Colleen's doll stuff. But then my guinea pigs, when we were kids, lived down here. They had like the top of this, Peter and Dina. And now we keep Barbie containers on top. So these have been here for a long time. But if you watched my last video, you might notice that the 90s Barbies aren't here anymore, and there's like more containers for 80s and 2000s. That's because a lot of them were like hitting the top, and when I last reorganized my Barbies and they were about the halfway point like they are now, that was back in like at least 2016, probably before then. So it was almost 10 years to like really fill it, and we don't buy bins in the way we used to because most of what we find is like duplicates. So yeah, you can see they're clear. You can kind of like see if there's a doll you need. Those are the potpourri sachets I keep in there to keep them smelling nice, and I can refresh them with just some new oils when I need to. And these have to be broken down by like years because there's just so many. I did not have to redistribute this container, however. This one is exactly how it's always been for years, because you can see that year category doesn't grow that much. But, and eventually, like, some of these, like the 2020s, might need their own, but that's fine. So we don't keep anything super important in here because these drawers kind of get warped sometimes when it's humid out. So this drawer has nothing. This drawer has some extra handmade stands from when I had my Monster High dolls on display. This drawer has just like a big bag of random playset parts that I don't know what they go to. This drawer has like my Generation Girl, my room cardboard trays. They're like the bedrooms, but they're cardboard. I just don't want them getting warped, but I don't use them all the time. These two are plastic doll stands, which I did sell a bunch of doll stands back in like 2014, but I have a bunch more now. And then we have like Becky's wheelchairs in one, because that drawer's broken. Because these are really prone to breaking, so I like to keep them in their own little thing. And that one just has some like LOL cardboard room backdrops. And then this room here, the blue room we call it, this is my bedroom when I lived down here. And it's really funky shaped because this is the oil barrel. It's got a cutout here so you can read the amount, and the well tank is in there. And then in these panels, which aren't fully put in, they kind of rest there. This is where the furnace and the hot water heater are, which in 2023 burst. If you watched that video, then you know that story. Something wasn't fitted right on the hot water heater, and the pressure built up, and it like sprayed all over my dolls, and that's why I store everything in plastic containers. They were fine. Absolutely fine. Plastic is the way to go. I don't put anything in front of these for that reason, because if these need to get serviced or something, I don't want to have to move stuff. But this is just the coffee table that matches the small end tables we have upstairs. It was my grandmother's, but we have couches that recline, so we can't really use it. And it's a great place to put my dream house. This is my 78 dream house that my dad got us at the flea market in like 2003. I used to just have it out in the open on this table, but I got tired of having to dust it because it has like a lot of little grooves and support beams and stuff. So I just bagged all the sections and labeled them, and I just used garbage bags. They keep the dust off. And, you know, in the event that, like, this were to spray water again, it wouldn't get soaked. So, like I said, this is not a closet. This is the door to get into, like, the well tank. Now this room has changed quite a bit since I filmed my last tour. Some of it's the same, some of it's different. So this really big, huge, super heavy wood cabinet was my grandmother's. She kept like art supplies in it. But now we keep doll stuff in it. These drawers can kind of swell sometimes if it gets like humid, so I don't keep anything really that important. These are like my Batman figurines I had as a kid and some extra Harry Potter stuff. These are like, and some Hello Kitty things, our only non-doll type toys we really have. And then these are all just like for Colleen and me and Colleen's small doll houses. The like 1/12 scale, the furniture I painted for a video, some like secondhand stuff. We don't like use it that often, and these are all like extra American Girl size furniture, like Colleen's pantry, our welly wishers, salon chair, things that'll fit in here that are kind of too small to like put out on a shelf by themselves. Those two, it's kind of the same deal. And on top I put my play sets that are too tall to fit on the shelving unit we have for furniture, like large furniture items. They work really great up here. You can see I have some like random things. This one has its box. And then this is, it's dark in here, so I'm using my phone flashlight, where we keep all of our small tackle boxes of doll accessories. And you can see I labeled them all, and all of my containers, I should say, whether they're these or the ones I keep the dolls in, or anything that like is kind of double-sided, they're labeled on both sides so that it doesn't matter how you put them back in. I didn't used to have them labeled. I think I labeled them last year, but that's just because there's just so many now, and I don't have to hunt when I need like a Bratz one. I just pull it out. So, and then these are where some of the smaller dolls are stored. That pink container is where the babies go, and then this is like for some random kids like Kid Core Jody and stuff. And then that big guy on the bottom is a fishing tackle box my dad bought me at a quote indoor yard sale for like a few dollars many years ago. And again, like some of these guys I bought brand new, some of them we had for years, some of them were used. So then we have the new thing. They're two shelving units. These are pretty big. They are 60 inches long, so they're 5 feet long, 2 feet deep, and like 71 inches high or something. They're tall. They're basically like the same size as those, but longer. I got these on sale. I had been wanting to get a shelving unit here, and I moved the backdrops that used to be in here because they only came up to like here. So there was all of this like height that was being wasted because this part of the house has no windows, because this part of the house is like underground completely. So I planned, after we did reorganizing after the hot water heater flood of 2023, in my head I wanted to get shelves, but I wanted to like buy good shelves, like sturdy ones that could hold the weight of like overflow doll containers and stuff. I did a lot of research. These ones I picked, they have ones that have particle board, but I wanted the ones with the metal grates. I even zip tied them in place. It actually only took me like an hour and a half to put these together by myself. They were big though. Because of how long these are, the boxes are 5 feet long, 2 feet wide, and I think they weighed like 70 pounds, and I had to get them from the porch and bring them all the way downstairs by myself. But I did it, and I assembled them, and it really wasn't bad at all. So I got these recently on Walmart's website for $110 each, which I was only going to buy one, but when I saw that they were like $60 off each, and that had already been discounted from like, I think they were originally $218 a piece, I thought I might as well do it now, then they'll both match. I can set them up both at the same time. If there's a problem with one of them, I can talk to like customer service at the same time about them and all that jazz. And it's always easier when you set up one to set up the second one right after. So that's why there's not much on this one. Because it's just for future, like when we need space, but they were worth it. The important thing when like getting shelves for doll containers is dolls can get kind of heavy. Like these ones aren't because I recently reorganized them, but they can get heavy and they also need to be pretty deep, and a lot of those like little storage shelves you see on Amazon are only like 16 inches, so these containers would hang over them. So these are 2 feet deep, which is really nice, and the metal, I didn't have to worry about coming like broken like particle board or warping or anything. And I just zip tied them to keep them like extra sturdy. And these are solid, like you can pull the containers off. It takes quite a bit of like force to get them to jiggle. So it was really worth the investment. And now we're all set with lots of growing room for a while. And anytime I invest in anything for storage, I always want to have room for the future. Like if we outgrow this, then obviously it's going to be time to like stop buying dolls or do some like pruning of some kind. But this is great, and I like over spread out. I didn't need to put all of this stuff over here. All of like these containers on the top row and these ones right here, these all fit on that shelf and were on that shelf, but I just figured to make it easier to like pull things on and off when we needed them, I just used the shelf space we had, and you can use the top and everything. So the downside is that because of where these connector things go, I had to make this shelf a little taller, which means this shelf is a little bit too short for the standard size of containers that I bought. They've been making this size for a long time. I bought these ones with the green handles that are in here, like in 2 different sessions at Walmart, because what was the point in having this shelving unit if I had nothing to put on it? But the other ones on the brown bureau out there are the same size, and those were bought like years ago, so that's why I wanted to make sure I could space them out on these shelves. So my 90s dolls before, I have 400 90s Barbies, they were in 4 containers and they were like hitting the tops, and that's fine and perfect if you're done collecting. And you're not going in there much to like pull dolls out for things. That's all well and good, but we obviously aren't done collecting and we wanted them to be more comfortable, and so I ended up buying 4 containers for the 90s dolls, and you can see now each year has her own container except the first 2, because I only had like 18 1990 Barbies, so now they're sitting at around like 40 to 60 dolls a container, which means that they have like room for anywhere from 40 to 60 more dolls to be in there and be comfortable. And yeah, you can see they're like about half full. Some are a little bit more full than others. The 95 and 96, they have like more dolls than any other year. I got 2 for calling skippers. I just moved them from the small containers they were in into here. They don't grow that much and they're pretty small, but just so they had a little bit more room. And then for some of my Disney overflow, because I can't fit all my Disney dolls on display, and they were just like really crowded in there. And yeah, so there's lots of empty space, but that was the idea. So I originally had these shelves like butting up against this wall, but I decided it would be better to have them butting up against this cabinet, because that way when we pull things down from up here, they won't fall over this side. The shelf kind of holds them in place. And this little corner, like there would have been this weird gap either way, and I thought over here I'd have access to the outlet, and I could stack some of our random clothes and accessory drawers. So a lot of these don't match, and that's because this one I got for free on the side of the road, that one I got for free on the side of the road, that one we got on sale at Walmart many years ago, this one I think we've had since we were kids, so they don't match. Only that one has the wheels on it, but I put the heavier ones at the bottom, and then you can see like I'm pulling things out and these aren't wiggling. And it's just nice because you have this vertical space, so why not use it? So these bottom ones have like accessories, and then these top ones have clothes. And then underneath the window, we have these 2 matching ones, which we've had since we were kids. My mom got them for us. We used to use them to hold toys. They hold all kinds of things over the years. And now they hold doll clothes. There's an empty drawer. Sometimes in some of these like things you'll see an empty drawer because we reorganized, and it's always good to have like new space. for when you start a new collection or you need to reorganize. This is my bag of unidentified doll clothes. She's got a label. And then this Cabbage Patch case is one of the few I actually store stuff in. This is where I keep all their plastic shoes and like their baby bottles and rattles and stuff I have for them. And then over here and over there are all doll clothes. So this doesn't look different. This setup has been here for a long time. These are all modular. So these are each a whole separate drawer that are made to stack. I bought them years ago. I forget exactly when, probably close to 10 years ago. And they were kind of expensive per drawer. So we would buy them 1 or 2 at a time, and we did this over the course of many months. And right when I almost had a perfect tower, they discontinued them, and they were super expensive online. I know I had a couple of them delivered too when I couldn't find them in stores anymore, but the prices went through the roof, and they don't make this size anymore. So that makes me mad, because now there's this little space that doesn't match. But these are great. I wish they still made these. These are awesome for like tons of doll clothes. You can see we bag everything, label everything. I recommend Sharpies because they're not water-based, so the labels last longer. So yeah, some of these are like, the decades are split, so like 90s Barbie outfits that came on dolls, 90s Barbie outfits that were fashion packs. Others, it's like, you know, my Bratz, where I have the characters paired off. And then these little guys, 2 of these I got at a thrift store recently for $5 each, which was great because I needed to reorganize like some of my miscellaneous clothes. And then the other few I got at different times at Walmart for different things that I needed. They don't all match, but you know, they get the job done. This is the closet that came with my Martina McBride doll. I just hung it up. I'll show you like more when we get to the other room, but this is one big closet that connects with the doors in the other room, and I keep big play sets in there, but we'll talk about that when we get to Babyland. So then over here, this is where I moved my American Girl clothes. These were in the pink room, then I had them over here for a while. The nice thing is these are sets of 3 connected drawers. You can stack them though, another row high if you needed to. So I wanted to allot some growing room because some of these categories like Bitty Baby, the drawers can get kind of full. So you can see like here we have all of our like Girl of Today, Truly Me stuff, Girl of the Year stuff, and then like Courtney has a drawer here. And I got these all on Walmart's website. I originally bought like my first 2 or 3 for Cabbage Patch dolls. And then I ended up switching the Cabbage Patch dolls and the American Girl clothes around because their needs were different. And I do store in like all of my bags. I keep the shoes now, and I also have little jewelry bags in here with any earrings or accessories I made, just because when you go to dress a doll you don't have to like rifle through a bunch of stuff, and it keeps the shoes cleaner. And then this guy I got on sale at Walmart many years ago. It was on clearance, and that just holds more American Girl clothes. Not all of their clothes are in here. This is mostly like contemporary dolls and Bitty Baby. And then these are baskets and bowls that we use. I know this looks weird, but when we transport clothes and accessories and dolls upstairs, these are like things we grab first. We have other plastic containers that I showed for that too, but these are like more for, you know, when Colleen wants to set up a picture, she'll take like this bowl from the dollar store and put things in it. Or when we're upstairs photographing stuff and we're making a pile of things to take downstairs. So this is easy access containers and baskets. And if you're wondering when I'm probably not going to be at the top here, but like when I take something out of the bag, right, and dress a doll in it, if I'm going to reuse this bag later because it's not like the doll's original outfit, I have in each drawer a gallon Ziploc for the empty baggies. And that way it's easy to find like when you want to put something away. And this is Babyland, where we keep most of our Cabbage Patch dolls, except the few that are upstairs. This was my parents' old room when they were down here years ago. So in this little nook here, this room is interestingly shaped, all of them are, because this is where like the furnace and the hot water heater are. So that's why this thing juts out. So in this little nook here, we have my dad's old dresser. And on top I have Cecile and Marie Grace's bed and this big baby's bike. Both of them I got secondhand. And I only have one doll over here for now because we have growing room. And next to it, I have this wagon that my dad got for free on the side of the road in like 2011. I used to keep my bitty babies in it in my room, but because of how I ended up reworking my display space, it's now down here. It's where some of my koosas live. My dad put it back together and we painted it together, so it's really special. And in here, this is all like my Cabbage Patch doll clothes, the manufactured kind, not like any homemade items or anything. So they're organized differently by like preemie sized clothes, and then dresses, sleepers, other outfits, and then this bottom drawer here is just extra bedding for different doll beds. Some of it's handmade, some of it's like American Girl brand. And then on this side of the door, where I have this little Hello Kitty coloring book thing hung, this is my mom's old dresser. I actually did have this in my room as a teenager, but I'm not really into like dressers and stuff. So we have just some of like the sentimental knickknacks we hung on to. It's a little bit hard to see because of the glare. And some of these like little tea sets and stuff, like this one was my mom's, we use it for our dolls and photos. And I moved this bench over here. This bench my sister and I bought my mom for Christmas 2001. That was our last Christmas with her. We got it at the same place. It's called the Mill Stores. They sold like homemade stuff. There's other things we have around the house that are from that store. We bought it for her Christmas mice, which we still have, but I just put them with the Christmas decorations, and this is where some of the cabbies live. And this is just a teddy bear that my grandmother made for my sister, like she decorated it in the chair. And we have more knickknacks on the side here and some other little tea sets. This one was my grandmother's. That one I just got in a flea market lot. And then in all of these drawers, for the most part, there's doll bodies. It's our morgue. So they're organized like that's the Bratz one. There's one for like articulated bodies, Ken and Skipper bodies, random like Monster High and stuff. Things like that. I won't open them all. This top one has clothes from our generation, Queen's Treasure. Some of these bags are empty because the dolls are modeling things. So these are just like outfits we have, whole little outfits that we use. Ones that we actually really like to use pretty regularly. And then these are where I keep all my American Girl catalogs. I used to have tons and tons of these as a kid, but when I was like 15-ish, I recycled them all, which is a real shame. And then in this bottom drawer, this is the only other one that doesn't have bodies. This is all Coraline's clothes, my 60s baby doll. You'll meet in a minute. These are all things I got for free from Amazon Vine, or like little used things that fit her. And then these are all just pictures that I organized in albums. And they've been fine there. I remember in my house tour a long time ago, somebody was concerned about them. They're fine. And this is, it's actually a Chupa Chups container that my dad got me as decor from the town dump. So someone threw it away. And there's this built-in shelf all the way down this room, and this is a really great place to display Cabbage Patch dolls. So like this bed I bought on eBay in a lot with a bed that's in my room. This is my high chair for Bitty Baby that my dad made me for my 10th birthday, and it has, I don't have them in right now, but there's little mattress cushions that are different prints that my grandmother made to go with it. This is my real Bitty Baby high chair that I got with my baby named Jelly at the flea market. This is just a little chair that my dad's best friend got from the trash for our dolls. And then these were like Christmas baskets that people gave us over the years, and that's where more of the cabbies live. These are just some bears someone gave Colleen that currently live down here. They're good photo props. And then over here on this part of the shelf, we have different shoes. Not all of them. Some of the shoes are over here, but we'll get back to that after. So this is a bunk bed that my grandmother bought for me when I was a kid. Colleen had a matching one, but that got broken, so this is the one that we salvaged. She had made bedding for it too, which I still have some of the bedding if it was in good shape, but I repainted it in 2016. There's these little designs, and I made the bedding to go with it. I consider this my Girl of the Year Jazz Dolls bed. It used to be in my room, but the American girls can't sit up on this bottom bunk. Only the bitty babies can, and when I needed to use a space for a bed that could accommodate the 18-inch dolls, it went downstairs for my cabbies. And that's just a little ornament that my friend Lisa got at a fair for us for Christmas one year. It's really cute. It's got a butterfly. This is my childhood Cabbage Patch cradle. It's from Coleco. We got it as kids. I have no idea where it's from. It was definitely secondhand. I have a video where I repainted it and I made some bedding to go in it. And this is where some of the dolls are. And this is just my parents' old nightstand. There's records in there, so non-doll related. Some of my extra CDs and some like different baby books and stuff. And the record player. Then we have my childhood toy chest, which I think belonged to my sister before me. I think it's secondhand. Don't do that to the carpet. This used to be in my bedroom as a kid, and currently it has some American Girl furniture. I don't want to open it up because of the cavities on top, but it's just some of like the smaller furniture, like Molly's desk, Samantha's desk, Addie's factory sled, some other things. It has to be laid in there in a very particular way. And these were not in this room last time I filmed this tour. I did have them, but they were in the blue room. I got these all at different times at Walmart, and I love these. These are great for doll stuff. Unfortunately, you'll note that this one is in a different order. That's because when we had a flood down here from the hot water heater in summer 2023, I had to move it out of the way really quickly so the carpet could dry, and it broke because I didn't pull the drawers out. So yeah, that's how it has to be right now because of where it snapped. One of these came from my upstairs. I used to have art supplies in it. So they're all like organized differently. I'm not going to open every single one, but like you can see I have certain containers. A lot of these were used. This one I got at the dollar store as a kid. We have a bunch of them that we use for doll laundry, but they're organized differently. So you can see some of them don't have dividers. They just have a bunch of stuff in it. And then all my paper accessories I keep bagged. So these are like Mary Kate and Ashley's, and then I have little bags for all the different dolls. And I have like some Q-tip boxes I made into organizers. So you can see how we have it organized. And Ever After High have special drawers, Mary Kate and Ashley. Yes, I have so much Mary Kate and Ashley stuff. It's in here now. So back to these shoe things. This we got at the Salvation Army. It was used, that's why it's missing a drawer and some of them are cracked. It's for tools, like little nuts and bolts. And it was really dirty when I got it, but I cleaned it, and it's perfect for shoes, and I have them organized by like molds I have a lot of. And then in these bigger drawers, there's like kind of a medley of molds, but they fit into a category. So for these bigger ones, I could fit labels, but these tiny ones, it's pretty obvious, like it's just like that kind of T-strap, for instance. This was the first organizer I bought as an adult collector. My dad got it for me at the store Harborough Freight. Again, it's like a new version of this. This is where there's some like Kelly shoes, Stacy shoes, Skipper shoes, High School Musical. This one's empty. I found it at a thrift store, and I just figured it was so cheap. It was like $1. I just grabbed it. And then I have a bunch of them. They're in little stacks of 3 or 4. For all of the many different categories. Monster High I have subdivided by character. So it's just what we have a lot of shoes for, or what we constantly reach for. And then these guys are all missing shoes. So I got this for free at the flea market. This woman just gave me a bunch of Barbie stuff in 2023, and this was in it, and this is great for larger missing shoes that we want to subdivide. And then this guy that's missing, it's plastic cover we had as kids. I used to use it as like a pantry or closet for my dolls. And this one I got at a yard sale. And you can see like the drawers here have labels. We have more shoe storage. Some of the really big shoes that don't have hairs just go in here. We have some Bratz shoes. More Bratz shoes. My lost Bratz shoes go up here in this drawer because they're so big. And more Bratz shoes. This unit used to be over there when it was in the other room, but it's actually was overhanging a little bit, and since the closet door is there, it was getting in the way, so that's why it's over here. But you can see there's a lot of empty space, and I just keep the outlet open for now, even though there's a bunch. This is my childhood dresser that was secondhand. It matches the one in the pink room. It's actually like a really good dresser. The drawers come in and out easily, and they never warp. And Cameron's decided to clean his bum. Okay. This is primarily American Girl clothes. So this is like Samantha and Nellie, Molly and Emily has her own drawer. Julie and Ivy, Nikki and Isabel, Emily, Big Babies, and then these ones have some like sentimental 18-inch clothes that are like either handmade or fakey that we don't use quite as often. And then these are where we keep our Polly Pockets. I have 2 bookshelves. They don't match because I got them at different times. This brown one is actually in really bad shape. When I moved it from over there to over here, it started to fall apart, so I'm probably gonna have to replace it at some point, but it works. So a lot of this isn't doll stuff. It's all my sister's like Harry Potter board game and puzzle collection, and then just some puzzles and board games that we kept to donate a bunch at some point. And then down here, these are just like my cosmetology school books, some books from Colleen's Spanish stuff at college. I have some like sentimental childhood books I held on to. A couple random doll books that I don't keep in my room because I ran out of space. And then like this binder down here is where I keep the doll instructions that I save. I don't save all of them. You get the idea. And I have my Bratz cases up here. These don't hold anything anymore. I just don't really like storing things in them, but they're a really cute decorative piece. And like this one is sentimental because it was my childhood one. My dad bought it for me when I had teeth pulled before I got braces, so it's special. And then this white guy looks like the ones in my room and in the studio, but this one came white. I did not paint it white. And this is where we keep like all our American Girl books. So we have like some of the crafting books, the like ultimate guides, their paper dolls, a couple sentimental paper dolls like Raggedy Ann and Andy. Our grandmother got us these, some Anne of Green Gables ones, more American Girl kits. I keep my Cave Club dinos over here, and Ginger, who my uncle Ray got us for Christmas in 2019 from eBay. She's cool. And then more of the books. So I have like all the world books, the cookbooks, and craft books, some of the random big ones. And then you can see like there's mysteries, short stories. These are all Girl of the Year. Some of them came with my dolls, some of them we thrifted. And same with the regular historical books. I have like gotten rid of duplicated books that weren't special to me. Colleen brought them to work for kids to read, but like some of them are just really sentimental. Like these old school ones here for Molly and Addie were from my grandparents. They were like our first ones. I used to love this one as a kid. This was my favorite volume of kits. And then I have my horses over here, my large doll horses. So I keep the duplicates next to each other, and I like to keep them here instead of in containers because I feel like their legs are less prone to break, and my dad had to fix a bunch of these ones from my childhood. I've been collecting these horses since I was a kid. This high chair that my friend Lisa's dad gave us, I think it was from one of her grandmothers, and I had it in my room. I made a little cushion for it, but I needed to move it down here when I reorganized my American Girl stuff, so Brigitte is on here. My South sculpture, who was a very thoughtful gift. And in the closet, so sorry, the like, there's something wrong with the actual light switch in here, so I'm gonna have to use this. This is where we keep our bigger play sets. So this was 3 different closets, but you can see it's all like one big unit. So that door was mine when I lived down here, and the other one was my mom's. And this was my dad's closet, which was really annoying because there's a gap in the pipe he used to hang the clothes from, and that was right where my closet was. And that was right where my closet was, and unfortunately my parents had a ton of clothes, so I had very limited space. This is where we keep all of the big play sets. So I just have like my Frozen Castle, my Ultimate Barbie Beach House, and then all of these big guys. Some of them are the same mold, like the Grand Hotel, the High School Musical, School, the '05 Dream House back there, our 2000 Barbie Dream House, and then my Our Generation stable is right next to the pole underneath the 3rd story to the dream house, and I keep my 2 American Girl horses, 2 of them in there, so they're not dusty, and they're all covered in garbage bags to keep them dust free. And when there's been a flood down here or something, it's protected them from getting all wet. So I just keep them in the garbage bags, and you can see they're labeled, so I know what I'm looking for. And most of these were secondhand. Several of them were free. I did not buy the majority of my big play sets new over here. The only one of all of these that you're seeing that I got new was my Grand Hotel for my 12th birthday. All of the others were, the stable was free, the '06 Dream House was free. We paid $25 for that Dream House. This Ultimate Beach Party thing was free. That Frozen Castle I think was like $4. And then over here, this bureau and the one next to it that matches were my sister's bureaus she had as like a teenager. They're kind of cheap quality, but they get the job done. So again, these hold like all American Girl clothes. I'm not going to open any of them, but except the 2 little drawers that just hold some extra wheels. So I have these really cute colorful drawers that I got on Walmart, and on different occasions I've had them for over 10 years, probably like 11 or 12. And you can see this one is all food and dishes, and then I have some for smaller collections. These are all hats and helmets. I got this at the flea market. This is all my LOL stuff. I know I got this one brand new. And again, some of these have little boxes and mushroom containers to divide. Some of them are just wide open depending on the size. What are you doing over there? You being goofy? You being Cocoa Banana Boy? And the food ones, they're full. And this isn't all the food. The smaller food is in tackle boxes. And then on top of this dresser is just my childhood Batmans that are sentimental. I got him at the flea market. My dad bought me him when I was little. My dad got me him at Six Flags when we went with some friends many years ago. And he was a Christmas gift that my parents got at the flea market one year. A lamp. And like I said, these are all just American Girl clothes. This is Felicity and Elizabeth's drawer. And then in this closet, that used to be my mom's, there's better lighting in here. I just have some extra hangers. And these look huge. These are our really big dream houses. That's the 2013 dream house. This is a Disney castle. There's the Monster High Deadluxe school. We have 2 of them. One of them I got used, our first one, for I think $6 or $7, and then Colleen's friend from work gave her a second one, and then I have my catacombs. If I need room ever, I can just get rid of the less nice Deadluxe school, but they're actually color variations. And then these 2 were both free. So that's what I'm telling you. Most of these were legit just free. On the side of the road, given to us. People don't really want to deal with big play sets. And these are also in garbage bags. And they're stacked in a way, so if I need to get the one in the back, I just move the one in the front over, grab the one in the back, and they go in a certain way based on how well they stand and how big they are. Are you helping give this tour? So this is a closet. I like to be nosy. I'm not allowed in here, but this is the door. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you're interested in seeing more of an itemized version of my collection, feel free to check out my Flickr down below. I also have my old display tour and my old storage tour that I can link below if you're interested in seeing how things have changed. And I do have a house tour also from 2017 if you want to see like what all of it looks like. It's changed somewhat since then, but not too much. And until next time, love your dolls, love yourself, and love your life.